Hi, how y'all doing? It's June the 23rd, 2026. It's a cusp. It's Tuesday. Cancer season just started. Here in Ontario, Canada, the skies are blue with strange looking clouds, just like yesterday. I didn't do a video yesterday, did I? Why? I don't know. I was getting downloaded, reading codes and different stuff I was watching, right? Playing my game, just having a quiet day. I didn't do anything. Strange. I've been. I woke up at 6 yesterday, with my toes cramping again. They did it before I went to bed and went to wake me up. Last night, not so bad. But they threatened me, my toes, that is, the muscles in my calves and stuff, tried to tighten up, but they didn't. So I'm grateful. I went to sleep pretty easy, right? And I woke up on my time, not my cramping feet time. So about 6:30 around there. Dreamt all night, but I don't recall. Yesterday when I was sitting here and I was looking out the window, a big black beetle landed on my window. Never happened before. Great big antennae on it, right? So I was like, what is it? And then I thought, longhorned beetle. So I looked it up. Sure enough, right? That's what it was. And it means transformation. It was on the window for about 5 minutes and then flew away. Signs from the universe, source, the great spirit, right? Telling me what's going on. So transformation. Cool, right? I'm activating. Activation flows to me, right? So yeah, and then I get up in the rise today and I get a message that my daughter, one of my daughters that hasn't been talked to me for over a year, sent me at about 1 o'clock in the middle of the night. And stupid, right? People started rumors about me years ago when I had my children, right? And I was married to my first husband, that some of my children weren't my first husband's children, right? I was out whoring around, right? And so when my children got to be teenagers, they started telling my children, your dad's not your dad, this guy's your dad, that guy's your dad, right? So I've had to deal with this their whole lives. And I told them, I know who your fathers are, right? And if you doubt me, get a DNA test, right? So it was the same question she posed to me again, right? She's using a threat, right? If I want to see my daughter, her and my granddaughter, I have to tell her the truth, okay? Who her real father is, because the man I said that's her father, my first husband, isn't her father. She doesn't accept that, right? And I was like, oh my goodness. So I sent her some messages back, right? Telling her, well, I'm afraid to tell you he is your father, right? She goes, this other guy in town here, right? Uh, is in her mind, like he could be her dad. And I was like, yeah, no, he's not my type. For one thing, he bleached his hair blonde when he was 15 years old and got hair extensions. His hair is black, just like his older brother, right? And I said, if you don't believe me, he's on Facebook, so message him and ask him. You know what I mean? So, yeah. My son, when he got up, I told him about it. And he was like, yeah, this happens, right? He says, I think it's your sister, Vanessa, that's doing this, right? I don't know why she has such a bone to pick against me, right? I know the family that started this rumor, too. And she grew up with the one that's a crack whore, uh, hanging out with her and being friends with her, right? And they're the ones that were putting this rumor around town. So I thought, Donovan says, I think it's your sister, Mom, that's influencing her, that's told her this stuff. And Lucas, my other son, right? doing the gang stalking thing I was talking about before, right? I thought, why does it matter to them? But I guess when you're chosen and they're living with it in their miserable minds, they're trying to grab me by the ankle and to drag me back down into hell with them. How dare you be better? You know what I mean? So I thought it was different. You know? I haven't heard this rumor for so many years. You know what I mean? My mother, people used to start rumors about me all the time. My mother would say to me, and I'd tell her about it, why are they doing this, Mom? Right? She goes, they're jealous, right? What's there to be jealous about, Mom? And she goes, well, if it bothers you, go out. If you want to know who's starting the rumors, go out and tell your friends, people you talk to, a rumor. Make up a lie about yourself, a rumor, right? And tell them, right? And then when it gets back to you, you'll know exactly who's talking about you behind your back. But I never did that because I'm not a liar, you know? I get accused of it, but I'm not a liar. It hurts too much to lie. It's hard to be bad. It's easy to be good, right? So yeah. Yesterday too, it was the 22nd, and I seen 222, which is the same number I seen when my mother passed. What I was told my mother was passing. So yeah, different. It's hot outside, but it's still cool in my house. It's starting to get warm now, though. I should take off my sweater. I woke up just freezing. It took me until now to get warm, and it's like what, 1:30, something like that, in the afternoon. So yeah. So yeah. See, my youngest son, he's the most developed. He's the one that got vaxxed, and he's the one that's most what do you call it? Emotionally developed, right? Like he's like, even if it was true, Mom, I'm still not gonna judge you for it, right? Because you were young. Everybody makes mistakes. Why would I use that against you? And I said, well, it's not true because I don't lie, right? I know who my children belong to, each one of them, right? Because when I got pregnant, I knew I got pregnant. I woke up the next day and was like, ah, damn, I'm pregnant, right? It's just a thing. And I always had a dream about them and what they would be when they were born, around 6 months. I'd have a dream of a little girl talking to me, a little baby girl or a little baby boy, right? I was like, hey, Mom, I'm here, right? So, yeah. So we'll see how long this goes on for, right? I don't care. I'm not bringing anybody with me. I'm not here to fix anybody, only myself, right? So they can exile me from the family. I don't care. I really don't, right? I tried pulling us back together. They wouldn't have it, right? They started making up lies about me. So they got a lot of work to do in this ascension, right? They haven't done very much spiritual work at all. It's like they're all still stuck in 6th grade, right? Do you know what I mean? Spreading rumors, telling lies. You can't hang out with her because I don't like her. Don't talk to her because I don't like her kind of bullshit, right? Public school stuff. So, yeah. Strange realm, folks. Strange realm. The energy's still weird, right? It really is. I woke up this morning thinking something's going to happen. I can feel like something's right on the verge about to happen. I don't know what it is, though. But then just now I remembered somebody, an astrologer, was saying we have a foot in both worlds now, right? Do you know what I mean? Like the 3D and the 5D. So, gotta keep grounded. Can't be too spiritual. Still gotta do your 3D stuff. Look after yourself, you know? So, yeah. I've been learning about the aliens, watching different videos on YouTube, right? Trying to get a grasp on it. Pretty much I still stand by, I think they are out from the outer lands. They're humans like us. Just different colors, you know? Different noses, different ears, different eyes. taller, shorter, hairier, whatever, right? Different abilities, psychic abilities and stuff like that, because maybe they haven't been as poisoned as we have. They didn't have their telemeters turned back, cut short, right? I was telling my son today we having a philosophical discussion, and because he tried to commit suicide right when he was like 15, 16, and he said he's watched a lot of the people, right, that have died and come back to tell their what it was like. He's like, nothing like that happened. He's like, I was aware I was me, but everything was black, pitch black. Could see nothing, right? But I knew I was there. I said, you didn't reach out to see if you could feel yourself or anything? He was like, no, I didn't have enough time because I called the ambulance on him for him, and he said that's when they resuscitated him, right? And I said, okay. I said, and he says, I believe in afterlife. And I said, of course, we're electromagnetic, plasmic beings. You cannot destroy energy. It just transmutes, changes into something else, right? Like water, when you boil it, into steam. Wood, when you burn it, turns into coal, into ash, right? It's still there. Turns into heat. Many things, if you think about it, right? And that's in my theory is, my idea is, I believe that there's an after as well. But you see, the way I look at it is we got hypnotized and lied to and MK altered and everything. And we were infinite beings and they made us die, talked us into dying, right? It was a new emotion, experience to have. And we got used to dying, right? Because we did it so many times, especially me. I'm an old soul. I said, but because I'm aware of this now, I choose life. I got tired of dying, all right? And he goes, that's one way to think of it. So, yep, it is. He got a pretty good night's sleep last night, too, because he said, I'm not, he said, I think I slept pretty good last night. Got some REM sleep in because I'm able to talk first thing in the rise. He's like, usually I don't. And he doesn't. He'll sit in his room for like an hour or two before he says a peep, right? So, yeah, we had a lengthy discussion for a couple of hours when he got up, just about different family stuff and philosophical stuff, right? Like I told him, I think you were an incarnation of the thinker. You know, the statue, the guy that sits there like that on his knee? Because when he was a little boy, 5 years old, that's how he used to sit all the time, right? And he'd watch TV. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is, like, had one knee down on the floor and one foot up. And I remember looking at him and think, I know that position. Who is that? Because I've never seen it before until I got older and I learned about it, right? Socrates, right? Or there's another name. What is it? Dante, I suppose, right? So you gotta remember, I didn't go to high school, so I didn't learn any of this stuff. Everything I know, I've taught myself over the years, right? So I said, I think you're an incarnation. Plus, his feline, when he got her, she was a year old or whatever. He was reading a book, and she came over and she put her hand on a word, pointed to a word, and the word was reincarnation. I think she was telling you, you know what I mean? So yeah, just different stuff. How's my ascension symptoms? Well, I slept pretty good, like I said. Woke up a couple of times. Didn't cramp up, thank goodness. Right? Today I've got pressure in my head, the front and the back. My shoulders are tight. My tailbone was really icky yesterday. My ribs starting to bother me right now. But same as a cold feeling in my throat, my lungs, right, in my mouth. Just different. I've had that a couple days ago. But everything else seems to be okay. Still getting the codes from everything I watch. It's just a word here and there. It takes me, into a thought. Something else I've heard. Puzzle pieces. All right? getting all the puzzle pieces. So yeah. Watching the drug addicts outside earlier today, dancing around. They can't stand still, right? They'd be kicking out their leg. But he's talking to another guy. They kept on hugging and fist bumping and being all tough looking. I thought, what is wrong with you people, right? Well, I guess that's what happens when you're stoned. So yeah. All right. I got nothing to talk about in the 3D. I'm not really paying attention. I know they want us to, but nah, I don't care. I feel it organically. I learn everything organically, right? It just happens. So yeah. Um, every day good things flow to me. Every day I activate more. And every day I have more gratitude. I love you all's consciousness. Enjoy this night or day. Okay? Okay. Bye.